All right, so we are back. So the answer is B. It helps convey that she truly understands the role for which she is the understudy. So, spoiler alert, if you don't know, in Romeo and Juliet, she is compared to like the sun. So it's using a direct reference from the play in describing the character of Juliet. So she is already embodying her role. An allusion. So an allusion is a figure of speech that refers to a well-known story, event, person, or object in order to make a comparison in the reader's minds. So for example, maybe you're nervous about a confrontation, like maybe you broke something of one of your parents and you're afraid to go talk to them. You may think of it's a David and Goliath situation. Maybe if you lied to someone and you don't think you can hide it, you could say something like, I knew she would never believe that I broke her lamp because I'm just as bad as Pinocchio. Because Pinocchio's nose grows long when he lies. So think about different types of illusions. So thinking of a figure of speech that represents another type of story. A lot of times we hear about Romeo and Juliet being the best love story. So you could say, my boyfriend and I's relationship is as loving as Romeo and Juliet. And that would be an illusion. All right, taking the plunge. This is another one where you can't see all the words. I will read this for you. Taking the plunge. You can't really see the bolts when you're on the ground, which isn't surprising if you consider how far up I am, at least halfway, meaning roughly 5 meters. What is in that in feet? Unfortunately, I can't ask Miss Snyder since she's roughly 5 meters down and about 30 feet away. I'm not sure how many meters there are in 30 feet, but I can estimate. If I'm 5 meters up, then she's got to be about twice as many meters away, which means it's about 10 meters. Anyhow, there she is, about 5 meters down and 30 feet away, buying an orange ice cream pop. And if I could remember that theorem named after the Greek guy, I could probably calculate exactly how far away Miss Snyder and her orange cream ice pops are. Man, I should pay more attention in Miss Snyder's geometry class. Then I'd know how far away she is as the crow flies, like people say. Do crows really always fly directly? If I were a crow, I'd fly directly towards Miss Snyder and grab her orange ice cream ice pop, although in case, maybe I'd better be a magpie, seeing as they steal things. Anyway, you can't see the bolts in this diving platform from the ground, which is good if your objective is to get more people to scale this crazy tower, because those bolts are pockmarked and look wounded, like they're bleeding rust, which doesn't inspire copious amounts of confidence. I can't see Miss Snyder anymore because we've rounded the central column of the platform, and now all I see are the feet of the people above me on the stairs. It's like they're inching along a malfunctioning assembly line that's churning out mismatched pairs of feet. Here comes a pair with mauve nail polish on the toes, and now a couple with aqua socks. Now some with hairy toes, now an ankle with a tattoo, now a bandaged heel. I'll bet you one ice cream ice pop that bandage comes off upon impact with water. Honestly, why do places always seem higher when you're looking down from them, when you're looking up at them? I can't turn around now, though, because if I did, I'd force 25 people to go down with me. I mean, I could try to just squeeze past them, but the stairway is too narrow for that, and I'd like to send several of them plunging into the rolling abyss. Right now I can see a boy who looks like he's about 10, with spindly legs like a colt, whom I'd almost certainly take out, which would be horrible and embarrassing. Who are all of these people who want to leap off a 10-meter diving board anyway, and what's wrong with them? Don't they know how far 10 meters is? It's like 30 feet or something. What do? Just start indiscriminately following each other? You're in the wrong line, lemmings. The line for the orange cream ice pops is over there. Just follow the hypnosis from Miss Snyder. I've come to the final step, but I haven't reached the board. The 3 people ahead of me are waiting to make their final ascent up the stainless steel ladder, which is covered in little rust freckles. Apparently you've got to walk the lonesome diving board by yourself. Nobody here can traverse it for you. I just heard the elastic reverberating crack of the board and got a partial view of someone hurtling toward the water. And although I couldn't tell exactly since he was sort of a blur, I think it was the guy with the bandage, which is a pity. I guess I won't be able to cash in on my orange cream ice pop bet. Things are moving a little faster than I'd like at the moment. Does anyone want to stop and enjoy the view? No? Okay. It's my turn to scale the ladder. I'm already slower than the few people who were ahead of me. And I'm not sure my arms and legs have gotten the message yet that they're supposed to be climbing. I can feel the people behind me boring with their eyes into the back of my neck. So come on now, arms, 1, 2, 3, start climbing. Are they climbing? Yeah, I think they are. Although now I'm just going to pause for a moment to try and scrape off one of those rust freckles. Nope, they're permanent. I'd better get back to climbing. I've reached the top, and I guess I wasn't as slow as I thought I was, since the girl ahead of me is still on the board. She's wearing a sleek one-piece suit and a swim cap, which I somehow haven't noticed until now. She's turning around. Is she surrendering? You can't go back now, girl, or else that boy with the colt legs is sure to fall. Wait, she's coming my way. She's walking and now inching backwards, and only the balls of her feet and her toes are touching the board. She can't be serious. She looks serious, though. Her eyes are penetrating and unblinking, and I swear I detect a smirk on her lips as she bends her legs 90 degrees and then springs backwards in a perfect arc. The last things I see are her feet, clasped like the petals of a rosebud. I'm waiting to hear the splash, but it's taking forever to come. There it is. It's not so much a splash as a plop, followed by a few dainty droplets. If you just you and me now, diving board, I've reached your brink. Eddies swirling in the nebulous void behind you, and all I can hear is a piercing ring. You're just staring at me, maybe through me. Can I ask you something? Do you like orange cream ice pops? All right. So, we got to hear a very nervous account from someone trying to jump off a diving board. So what is the effect of the personification in this excerpt from the passage? Remember, personification is giving those human characteristics to non-human things. The excerpt, it's just you and me now, diving board. I've reached your brink, eddies swirling in a nebulous void beneath you, and all I can hear is a piercing ring. You're just staring at me, maybe through me. Can I ask you something? Do you like orange cream ice pops? So, what is the effect? Why does a personification mean something in this passage? What? Think about the purpose. How does it affect the reading? The answer is D. It helps stress the idea that the anxious narrator views the diving board as an adversary. So we can already see that the narrator is very stressed, right? With all of the narrator's, excited type of language, freaking out about the people in front and behind her, and all of that kind of stuff. So we can definitely see that this is an effect of her, because the character is so nervous that they're talking to the diving board like it's an actual person. Question number 6. What effect does the phrase "walk the lonesome diving board" have on the text? How does that phrase affect the text? Walk the lonesome diving board. The answer is A. It emphasizes the narrator's feelings of anxiety. Once again, this character is very, very anxious. So it's going to say all of these type of phrases to show the anxiety. Question number 7. How does the narrator's use of onomatopoeia in this sentence from paragraph 7 affect the passage? So it's already pulled out the sentence with onomatopoeia. It's not so much a splash as a plop, followed by a few dainty droplets. So how does the narrator's use of the onomatopoeia affect the passage? Once again, we're thinking of the purpose. Why is this an effective sentence? The answer is B. It helps the reader understand how precise the dive was, right? Which is really funny, because if you are splashing once you jump off a diving board, is it precise? It's not, right? But since we get that word plop at the end, we can see that the person who tried to do the back dive off the board thought they were going to make a nice splash, but instead it was a plop. What is onomatopoeia? It's a fun word to say and a fun type of figurative language to use. It's a word which imitates the natural sounds of a thing. It creates a sound effect that mimics the things described, making the description more expressive and interesting. Boom, pow, smash, quack. Any noise that comes naturally is onomatopoeia. So, boom, the car hits the side of the wall as I first learned to drive. That is onomatopoeia. You're using those noises as figurative language. So here's a great picture of, I think this is, what's it called? Now I'm totally losing it. Captain America Civil War, I think. And there's some great imagery here. We can definitely hear and see the different onomatopoeia that you could use. I think things like zap and boom and pow. Definitely zap I hear in this. But just think about those sounds you would hear that you could write down, and that would be onomatopoeia. All right, so some tips before you take your test. You need to look back at the poem, To a Poor Old Woman. There will be some questions asking you about that poem. You need to look back at Goodbye to All That, and reading some of your analysis, I know that some of you just spark noted it. You will be asked questions as Goodbye to All That, so you need to make sure you read that. Review colons, right? There was a whole lesson, I think it was 2.05. Please go over that. For review what an allusion is. Also review alliteration, simile, and metaphor. So these are tips. You need to look at these. This is a great, helpful hint for your test because all of these things, besides what we talked about, will be on there. All the concepts. Think about purpose. Think about the effect language has. Think about personification. But like I said, you really need to make sure you're looking back at the two texts. To a Poor Old Woman, which was a poem, and Goodbye to All That, which was a essay. All right, so what is next? You need to take the Unit 2 test. That is assigned on Monday, which, as you're watching this, would be today. The interim tests. So you are going to be taking the USA Test Prep again. You took that at the very beginning of the semester. You're taking another test for points because we're tracking you to see how well you've done from the beginning to now. So it is important that you complete those. So starting on Tuesday, and I will be back on Tuesday, you will be taking that test. And you have until the 25th to take it. So make sure you get that done sooner rather than later, but you don't have to get it done on Tuesday. Continue working on Unit 2 because Unit 2 obviously is almost over because you're having your Unit 2 test today. Tutoring and help. Make sure you check those times. And you don't have any school Friday and the following Monday for President's Day, so it's a short week for you guys. All right, like I said, I am so sorry that I was not here today, but I will be back on Tuesday. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me, or you can Skype me, but I will not be answering them until Tuesday. But please, if you have those questions, send them to me anyway. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and I will talk to you on Tuesday.